In the 16th century, specifically the year 1932, one of the most influential books in the world was published, which is the book of The Prince of the Italian Nicholas Machiavelli. The book was published 5 years after the death of Machiavelli, and the fact of the book is that it was written for rulers and princes to control their people and manipulate their minds, as the book put forward the methods that the rulers must use, whether moral or immoral. The most important sentence mentioned in it is the sentence of the end justifies the means, and after many years, specifically in the year 1998, a new book was written called 48 Laws of Power, and this book is the successor to the Prince's book, as it follows the same tricks, methods, and demonic ideas to control others. And the author of the book, Robert Greene, is the same author of today's book that we will explain, which is the book of the Art of Seduction. The Art of Seduction is a different version of the book 48 Laws of Power, and it talks about different type of power, and what it is called is soft power. Soft power is the subject of today's video, from the book The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Warning, all the ideas, methods that will be explained apply to you daily, whether you know it or you don't. The main goal of the video is to make you aware and explain what is happening around you, and I am not responsible for any evil actions that you may do using these methods, and I do not advise you to use these methods for evil. You must always be a good person. First of all, what is seduction? Seduction is a form of power whose goal is to control. The control of the individual over the individual. Whether it is the control of a man over a woman or the woman over a man. The control of the politician or the speaker over the crowds that listen to him. But how does seduction happen? Seduction has 8 interconnected parts through which to control a person. The first part is to approach indirectly. This part is the most important thing to know because the goal of seduction is to influence others. If a person tries to seduce you, that means that he is trying to lead you somewhere, but he will face a dilemma, which is that you will refuse to obey him, especially since human nature refuses direct submission. No one feels comfortable if someone tries to force him to follow him, so whoever tries to seduce you will use this method that makes him appear out of the picture or not interested in what is happening. He will hide his true intentions, and this is what the lion does when trying to hunt. If the lion wants to hunt a deer, he must create an ideal and quiet environment for it. He will hide behind the trees and the place will be very quiet. The deer will approach slowly to drink water and will relax all its defenses because the place seems outwardly safe. But in fact, the lion is the one who created these conditions for her and is approaching her silently. He had to do this because if he decided to chase her from the beginning, he would never catch her because she was ready to run away from him. So if you show through your actions from the beginning excessive interest, the other party will meet you with direct suspicion. You have to be neutral at the beginning of any relationship and not to show your goals directly because this will make the other party feel in danger. Take for example, you offer a girl to be her lover from the beginning. To a large extent, she will reject you and be suspicious about it, and wait for you to come again and again, and perhaps she will continue to reject you. But your coming at the beginning as a friend, building trust and creating the appropriate conditions will increase your success rate and reach your goal. And you will win and succeed in seducing her. Whoever tries to seduce you will not give you the impression that he wants to deceive you or get you. A lion may pretend that he is sleeping and the deer is drinking, but he is watching its every move. No, but he even created the environment for her. His main goal is to catch and eat her, even if he pretends that he is sleeping, or that he is not interested. And this is what happens to you in your life. The politician may pretend that he is not interested in your vote. He wants you to choose the best person, which is actually him, but he will not tell you that. You will refuse to vote for him. He will continue to seduce you and defraud you, and he will make you believe that you chose the vote for him because you wanted to, and not because he would die in order to get your vote. You will think that he is not interested and that he is rich and has everything, and your vote will not mean anything to him. But the truth is the opposite. You are the deer who believes that the lion is sleeping. And in politics, also public statements make competitors fear you greatly. The second part of seduction is sending mixed signals. Seduction is similar to magic. Many people believe that the most powerful weapon in the magician's bag is distinction, whether it is distinction in shape, beauty, or anything else. But magic that is based on these ingredients is threatened. Why? Because there are many hundreds of magicians who can succeed him. Also, the magician must be present with his body in order to remain in control of people. But the weapon of real seduction is not beauty or distinction. It is just a psychological game that makes the magician dominate in his presence. It is just a psychological game that makes the magician dominate in his presence and even in his absence as well. He will remain in people's minds even if he is not present. Okay, but how does he do that? He does this by being difficult, and what is meant by difficult here is that he is difficult to imagine and understand. He sends conflicting and surprising, opposite and mixed signals. He will be innocent and rude at the same time, smart and sarcastic, demonic and shy, spontaneous and serious. All these feelings at the same time. One of the things that contributed, for example, to the success of Mona Lisa painting is the idea of having two different elements in her smile, which gave her such an attractiveness. Gandhi, for example, captured the hearts of masses strongly because he was not only showing his good side, which calls for peace. No, not that. If he had done this, people would have accused him of hypocrisy. But besides his peacefulness, he openly admitted to feelings of anger and vengeful. This contrast of personality captivates the audience, and its long-lasting effect is truly magical. Contrast always creates confusion, and confusion fascinates and mesmerizes people. Bewilderment creates an aura around a person, and this aura is like a magnet and attract people to it. The third part of the process of seduction is to appear as a desirable person. For example, why are all countries interested in the World Cup? Is it for the financial value? Of course not. But the World Cup has a great social importance. The social importance is caused by the competition. The idea that there are 32 teams competing for the first place to raise the flag of their countries makes it a very special idea. This creates an additional value for the award and makes it required by everyone. If you win the World Cup, this means that you have defeated many competitors, and this will give you a sense of distinction and strength. Human beings are social creatures that care about people's opinions and desires, and for this you have to make yourself a desirable and important person, and this will increase the competition to get to you and raise your value. And this is what Red Bull did in its early days, where it carried out a marketing trick that made people rush to buy its drink. And this is by filling the garbage baskets in the sport clubs with empty bottles of its drink. And this is what made people believe that everyone is buying this new drink and that it is useful and good, and that they should really get it. And so Red Bull made itself the desired thing that everyone wanted back then. The fourth part of the seduction process is to create a need. All the people around you have emptiness somewhere. They feel incompleteness and emptiness, and they bury these thoughts far away. If you can dig and reach these ideas, you will be able to seduce and control them. In one of the films, someone wanted to control the hero, so he focused on trying to make her feel like her life was terrifyingly boring. He created fears inside her and made her feel that boredom in her life already existed, even though she did not notice it at first. While he was, his life, words and actions were all suspense, and this made her believe that he is her salvation, and he is the solution to the problem that he himself made. For example, you will try to make others feel that their lives are boring, and that they do not have what you have. Now that you have created a problem and a need for them, then you will present yourself as a solution that covers this need or lack that they feel. This is the same principle that politicians apply to people. If a politician wants to launch a revolution, he will first create a need among the people in order to control them. He will make them feel discontent with their present and remind them of their past and how dear they were before. He will make them feel that there is a need for them and that he is the one who has the solution, and they will carry out the revolution with him to satisfy this desire. The fifth part of seduction is create a temptation. You have to read people. People are messages. In their dressings, in their words, in their behavior, a person is a group of messages that walk in the earth. If you can read and decipher these messages, you'll be able to control anyone. If you check people, you will find what is called insecurity, and these insecure parts are the weaknesses of people. By using them, you can create a perfect temptation. You will find that there are those who do not feel safe about their body, origin, voice or property, educational level or anything else. Simply, if you want to seduce someone, focus well on his weaknesses and indirectly support them and praise them about it, and so you almost succeeded. You own them now. Or maybe they use this technique with you and they own you now. Who knows? Part 6. Always leave them in suspense. We all know the story of Shahrayar, who was always killing a new girl, until Charazad appeared, who was able with her intelligence to escape this fate. All she did was make Shahrayar in a state of anticipation and waiting for her stories. She made him wait for the completion of the story every day, and this made him delay the date of her killing. She was able to control the king using the element of suspense. People love everything that is mysterious mysterious, and this is the key to luring them. You have to act in a way that makes them wonder, what is your latest development? Do unexpected things and make them not understand what is happening and wait for more. This is what happened with the king. As long as he does not know what will happen, this will put him under your control. Part 7. Isolating the victim. There was an evil man in the past who kidnapped children and sold them, and his method was simple. He plays with the flute and children chase him enjoying his playing, unaware of the danger that threatens them, and that they have moved far away from their family. And after the evil man reaches a far place where the children's screams cannot be heard, he kidnaps them very easily, so isolating the victim is a very important factor in the art of seduction. Part 8. Mix pleasure with pain. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is always act nice. You are afraid of the danger of the other party. You turn into a nice person all the time. But life is like an amusement park. No one wants to go to an amusing part whose games are all underground. The louder and the more dangerous games are the greater and the fun. So moments of sadness and fear are very important. You should not try to solve these problems quickly. Make the other party feel jealous and pain. Create tension even if there is no need for that. Then remove it yourself. The pleasure and joy after the pain tastes sweet and will make you prevent boredom from the other party, and it will make them strongly attached to you. At the end of the explanation of the book, you should know very well that the person of this explanation is educational and that you should use these techniques only when needed and with caution. And this video may be the key to understanding who is manipulating you and how they do it. Do not allow anyone to abuse you and do not abuse anyone. Beatbooks was with you, and we meet in the next summaries. Goodbye.